Hey there, Scoobies. Teacher's Pet is the second lowest rated episode from Season 1 on IMDb, and for good reason. Despite this, and with all episodes, there is still some good elements to be found here that further the character relationships. This is the first episode penned by David Greenwalt. Where have I heard that name before? This is a Xander-centric episode, just in case the dream sequence wasn't clue enough. There is a clue that it's a dream even before Xander's intro. The vampire's features are more pronounced, his eyes are more sunken and his ears are pointed, and a bit more bat-like. This is because we are seeing the vampire through Xander's lens. Likewise, Buffy's dress, hair and makeup show an idolised version of her from his standpoint. The red dress is no accident.
Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
Otherwise known as the red dress effect, a phenomenon in which the colour red increases physical attraction, sexual desire and romantic sentiments. In Xander's dream, it's not enough that he's with Buffy. He desires that she lust after him. Also notice the black ensemble. Research in colour psychology shows that the preference for the colour black indicates recognition and power, and someone who prefers to wear black takes themselves very seriously. If you take Xander's usual colour palette, it's light and full of expression. Back IRL, Xander has been drooling in his sleep, and Buffy is put on the spot by Dr. Gregory, who starts a trend of nice, well-meaning role models that tend to die shortly after their introduction.
Let's make him eat that permanent record.
It's almost like the Hellmouth eats good people. Xander is navigating the bronze solo, and gets a look of disdain from the lead singer. If we look at Xander's dream, he longs for the limelight, to be front and centre of attention, but the reality is he's rejected by the in-crowd. Angel shows up to warn Buffy of a new threat, and Xander's jealousy takes an odd turn.
You think he's buff?
He's a very attractive man. How come that never came up?
As the show went on, they wanted to have one of Buffy's friends be gay, but early on didn't know which. I'm not sure if they knew as early as this in the show, but this is the first of a few signs that it could go either way for Xander. The next day, Buffy is updating Giles, who actually laughs at his own joke.
I think there are too many guys in your life.
And Xander joins the group, updating them on Dr. Gregory before...
I am hot.
Well, requiring new underwear? In class, Miss French gives an exposition dump while all the boys fawn over her. In the cafeteria, Buffy shows some surprising wisdom on cougars.
A younger man is too dumb to wonder why an older woman can't find someone her own age and too desperate to care about the surgical improvements.
Before Cordy finds most of the good doctor. That night, Buffy goes hunting and runs into the elusive... Clawpire? No wait, Vampclaw. They're interrupted by the police, and Buffy witnesses Vampclaw get scared off by Miss French. The following day, Buffy reports to Giles before being collared by Principal Flutie to see the counsellor. We see Cordy showing a more empathetic side.
Oh, I'm not saying that we should kill a teacher every day just so I can lose weight. I'm just saying...
Buffy's face could be construed as just shocked at Cordy's lack of awareness, but as we later find out, Buffy used to be more like Cordy.
Let's say a certain person who will remain nameless. We'll just call her Spordelia. Looked like a classical philosopher next to me.
With this in mind, I see this as a more subtle moment of self-reflection, seeing a little of who she once was now that she's grown a bit. Back in class, Miss French is being a pest and takes no issue giving away that she's not human to Buffy. Miss French invites Xander to her place, and I appreciate the edit again showing the connection of rock stars and sex, especially in the minds of teens. Back at the library, Buffy has worked out what Miss French is. This is a clunky exposition scene to move the plot forward and to emphasise what Dr. Gregory had said.
You have a first-rate mind and you can think on your feet. Imagine what you could accomplish if you actually did the
homework thing.
So, I see you. And maybe in the same hands a couple of seasons down the line, they would have found a more subtle way of handling this. But here it just feels forced and unearned. Buffy tries to warn Xander, who is under French's thrall, before heading over to Seduction Central. When the question of Xander's sexual partners comes up, he once again tries to reinforce that he has had previous partners.
Yeah, there was, several. And quite a few times.
Before then thinking of Buffy and fainting. Miss French makes a reference to requiring a virgin, which I'm sure is important in some way. Imprisoned Xander runs into Blaine, who tells him of their fates. The fact he's there means...
7, including Sharon.
...is a load of crap. The others are still researching. Note Buffy is still wearing Angel's jacket. The gang roll up on Miss French, and the clock is ticking for Xander. Buffy wrangles Vampclaw and uses him to find Miss French before dispatching him, Buffy uses bug spray and sonar to defeat Xander's lover, and the episode ends on some ominous egg sacs. As mentioned, this is the first Xander-centric episode, and deals with the concept that adolescent male sense of worth being linked to sexual prowess or promiscuity. The eventual reveal that Blaine is also a virgin, showing his machismo is nothing more than a front, is a clunky and half-baked idea. There was definitely something that could have been talked about here, especially in the predator-like behaviour of Miss French, and how society at large turns a blind eye to male victims of abuse, or the abuse of power. In its naive way, it does. The gang rushed to save Xander, sure, but nothing is said about the manner in which he was lured into this fate, showing that they all turned a blind eye to it, until it was revealed that she was a giant bug. But had that not been the case, Xander's friends, and even Giles, would have sat idly by. Turning back to the male view, and especially from Xander's stance, he has a short glimpse of Buffy while drugged, signifying his crush on her may be a little bit more than that. To Xander, Buffy taking and wearing Angel's jacket for most of the episode is Angel's passive-aggressive way of marking his territory. He's not around, but a piece of him is cloaked around her. There isn't much more I can say on this episode, other than the little scene at the end with Dr. Gregory's glasses being placed in his coat is a nice send-off for a character that was only with us for 2 episodes. But he still had a profound impact on Buffy's development.
And please don't listen to the principal or anyone else's negative opinion about you. Let's make them eat that permanent record.